Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to look at our round 10 review for SuperCoach NRL in the 2024 season. So as per usual, before we get stuck into our trades, we'll have a look at the most popular trade-ins, trade-outs, captaincy options, and then we'll go from there. So on the trading out list this week, number one, we've got Ryan Papenhuyzen, obviously out for a few weeks with an injury, potentially missing round 13 and 14, but particularly at his price point and I guess the position at fullback, can't really afford to hold injuries for that long. So I think that is a reasonable trade out this week. Jack Bostock at number two. So I definitely understand people trading him out. He's made 280k, which is more than I sort of envisioned he'd make for us. But as I talked about in the Tops, Chops, Traps, Slaps video yesterday, I think there is an argument to hold him if you can, and that being is that he will play in those bye rounds, round 13, round 16, round 19. And he's shown that he can score tries, and obviously, off the back of that, score well in SuperCoach. So I guess he's an option to hold as like your 14th, 15th, 16th player. If he doesn't go off, you don't lose anything because it's only best 13 in those weeks. But obviously, if he goes off, well, then that could be a potential advantage over other players. So obviously, it's still a few weeks. I wouldn't recommend trading out and then trading back in round 13. It's either you jump off or you stick fat, I think. The next three, all Raiders players on the bye, and I guess all made us a bit of money. Maybe Xavier Savage has lost a bit. Ethan Strange lost a little bit too. But I guess with some of the options this week, and there's a couple of good options this week, I suppose, that we can downgrade to. Obviously, some upgrade options as well. I think, you can comfortably trade them out. Jesse Arthur's gone down injured, so you can trade him out. RTS, is sort of just treading water. You see he's only made 10k for the year. So I guess based on what my moves are this week, I can't begrudge anyone trading out RTS. Morgan Smithy's on the bye. He's one I'd be more inclined to hold just because he does offer that floor. I think, if you're trying to get Angus in, there might be another way. Obviously, if it is the only way, okay, fair enough. But I'd try and hold Smithies. Cam Murray out, long-term injury, so round 15 to 17. So absolutely on the chopping block. And Joe Chan has peaked. He's made 80k, which isn't the best, but I guess he has done a job for us. So yeah, I mean, not sure you must be using dual positions to trade in a centre wing. I can't think of any cheap second rowers, but they may show up on the trade-in list. So number one on the trade-in list this week, David Armstrong, and I think he is the best cheapie option. Playing fullback, available in the centre wing, we love that. Some questions around his work rate, but last week was a sort of not the ideal game for him. So I'd absolutely get on him this week. Dom Young at number two. So a lot of people sort of seeing the value. He was, I think, up around 700k at one point earlier in the season. It is that roller coaster, so he will have the high highs and the low lows. Just be mindful, he will cover round 13, but has the bye round 14 alongside the Dolphins and the Raiders. So if you're swapping him for, say, a Ethan Strange, James Schiller, probably an okay move. Not one I would look at the moment. I'm looking for the cheaper options or the top line premium guys. But I can see some people who are short of cash might want to go that way. Sua Falango at number three. He has only played one game, and I guess a tough matchup against the Sharks this week. The Sharks I think they're the best defensive team in the league so far this season, based on points let in. So I'd be inclined to have a look. Obviously, if you want a cheapie, you can get on Armstrong. I guess the trap some may have fell in is they've gone, a week early on Armstrong, so they need a downgrade this week. So they're going a week early on Fa'alongo, and then I guess what's the plan for next week? So it's one where I guess if you can go Armstrong, if you can't and you need the money, it's not the worst shout, but I'd wait as much as possible for one more game, get a bit more data before you bring him in. Ruben Garrick, Jermaine Asako. So these are the top tier guns I was referring to. When I talked about Dom Young, I bought them in last week and absolutely cheering. So get them in, great options. Obviously, Ruben Garrick is slightly less value than last week, but he's a keeper to the end, so no need to stress there. Scott Drinkwater, so I think great pick to bring in. The Cowboys have that really nice run in the next few weeks, so yeah, I guess great time to bring him in. Real convenient if you've got the money to go from Pappenhausen up to him. Works out really well. Angus Crichton, so he's just climbed up 300k in price this season. Um, Sort of negative break even, which is pretty insane. So I think maybe the last chance to get on him after this, it probably gets a bit ridiculous if he's up around 800k to bring in. Um, I think there's better ways to spend that sort of money, but yeah, I can see why people want to get him in. I'm looking at trading him in the formats that I don't currently have him in. AJ Brimson's obviously playing fullback is nice for his upside. I guess the only knock is that he won't play around 13. So as long as you've got centre wing coverage for that week, not the worst shout. He can sort of be considered in that premium category. But also you may want to trade out if he moves back to the centres once Campbell's back up and running. James Tedesco, I guess, I'd rather drink water, but you can see at the price, it's a bit easy to get to Tedesco. I guess you've just got to be willing to carry him through Origin, and I don't know if I'm that willing to carry him. That's why I traded him out last week. And Connor Watson, so nothing really more than a cash grab here. I don't think there's another massive 140 or whatever he scored in his near future. I'm happy to be proven wrong as always, but yeah, I don't think it's the best pick unless you really desperate to make some cash and you want to trade out, say, a hooker in that unlikely event. But we'll have a look at the choices. We'll go top 10%. We're getting to that stage where the cream's rising to the top. So most popular captain, Nico Hines against the Storm. I think this is just because they played later in the round. Um, but, I can see Cleary being a popular shout as well. Probably, not as clear cut as it would have been, say, even this time last year, given the Bulldogs' defence is much better this year. So, pretty interesting, actually, the top four defensive teams lining up against each other this week. So that's the Storm, Sharks, Penrith, and then the Bulldogs are fourth. So, um, yeah, I think, Cleary can score well against them. Um, and so just looking at this, it might even be a sneaky chance to take a little point of difference move potentially. Scott Drinkwater against the Titans. I guess it's not quite the fill up it was at the start of the season to play against the Titans, but it's not the worst shout either to bring him in, I suppose. Ruben Garrick and Tommy Turbo in the Thursday night game against the Dolphins. Um, I've actually tipped the Dolphins to win that one, so I'm hoping that doesn't work out for that 8% in the top 10%. So what's that, 0.8% that have selected them. Val Holmes against the Titans, I guess a similar story to Drinkwater. For Feeder, back playing 80 minutes, so that's not the worst shout. Doing the reverse against the Cowboys. I guess being the last game too, it is a good opportunity to, captain one of those guys and then you maximise your loopholing opportunity. Dylan Edwards, I guess a similar story to Cleary. Um, I'd have to look a bit deeper into how the Bulldogs have gone against fullbacks and the scores, but yeah, I can see why people would potentially go there. Angus Crichton, I guess the form he's in wouldn't surprise me if he, turned up again and rewarded the 2% that captained him. And Reece Walsh, I guess, you can throw him in. Parramatta's is slightly undermanned as well, with Gutho and Moses out. Um, just realised I tipped them, but that was off the back of Adam Reynolds not playing, but I might have to try and change that. Vice captain, let's see if there's any more exotic options there. So Turbo, Garrick, Cleary, um, fast options there. Reece Walsh, we've talked about. Asako, he's obviously playing the first game. Um, it's not a bad shout, actually. It might be something I consider um, getting on that. Drinkwater, Edwards, Holmes, Manu, he's always in that VC conversation. Pappenhausen, obviously, people haven't done their moves just yet. I am recording this on Wednesday night, if you cannot tell from the weird lighting. Getting a bit ahead of it, and I guess if this works well, it might be the sort of format going forward. But I guess in terms of my trades this week, um, so initially I was trading Pappenhausen down to Armstrong and copped a bit of grief about it. So I'm going to go with the crowd and bring in Drinkwater, like everyone's told me. Great draw. He's well down the pecking order for Origin, so that's probably the safest bet at fullback for round 13 and 14. So I'll bring that in. And then I do want to bring Armstrong in. I think there's a bit of value there. And a lot of people saying, well, it's pretty obvious you trade out Bostock. But like I said, I do want to keep Bostock around. So I'm actually thinking of trading out RTS. He's okay, but he's just that mid-price option that we're not really that keen on. So if we go by break even and bring in Armstrong, so it does give us a bit of play money as well for next week. We still probably need to upgrade our second hooker. We'll play Lussick this week and see how it goes, but we won't play him, but we'll keep him in the squad. Um, so I guess in terms of the moves this week, we need to get Smithies off field. Who plays first on the bench? The Knights, I suppose. So Kai Pierce Paul on. Yeah. Um, Tamara Martin, Lockie Galvin. So I guess maybe one of the moves for next week. I might not even be able to spend the money next week because I think Martin's going to go for KO Weeks. And then I guess there's also Fayalongo to consider. But I'm not quite sure who's making way for him out of this yet. It might still be Bostock. But we'll give him another chance. Um, but I got sidetracked there. So they both play in the afternoon. So fast footy just depends. I guess I think the Warriors have been a bit flat, so we might just go Galvin this week. Got the three guns locked in. Uh, Eero we might skip. Um, I think maybe Armstrong just against the Tigers. Could be a good matchup. And obviously Scotty Drinkwater there. So in terms of the captain, vice captain, I think like the safe money's on Nico Hines, but we could go a little bit funky potentially. So I'm thinking what we could do is we could actually have Cleary as captain against the Dogs. I hope it doesn't work out well for me, given I am a Dogs fan. But we can VC as Sarko, sort of have two cracks at it early doors, and we'll just hope it works out for us. You know, Nico against the Storm. If we just go to his stats, I think I go to season stats, don't I? So you can see the two games he's played against them, 35-43. So, that's what I'm gambling on is, even though the Bulldogs defence has been okay, if anyone can work out what Cameron Ciraldo does defensively, it's going to be Nathan Cleary. Haven't done it for years himself. But I guess we get out of Smithies. We're still going to play Hines. Um, yeah, we'll give Fuller another go on Thursday night. So I guess realistically we should do that. It looks pretty yuck, but Fuller plays first, Drinkwater plays last, so plenty of time to cover any last minute injuries or whatever. And then yeah, Nico and Cotter on the bench is fine. So I think that's pretty much it. A couple of little tweaks there, but yeah, I guess we can wrap the video up there, or should have a look at the draft team real quickly, because otherwise I'll forget. So I can bring Cleary back in, which means I can also move Burton back to where he belongs in the six. Tamara Martin can just come straight in for Pappenhausen at fullback. Don't have a backup fullback, that's a concern. Other than that, I think the team's all good. We do have a free agent, so I might be able to sneak something here. So, is that all the free agents? That's pretty ordinary. Um, so let's have a look. Got Simpkin, Luke, Havili's playing, Verrills, no. Lawton, absolutely not. Um, oh, that's just a hooker. No wonder. I was like, there's a lot of hookers there. Um, Takura, Nichols. What do we actually need? I think yeah, we've got Terrell May in the front row. Do we bring him back in? Back of a 120? Yeah, go on. He's earned it. Um, don't know if I want to change my centre wings up there. Um, so fullback. So I guess we'll just go through all the positions. Something might sort of jump out. Kapoa. Actually, what I should do is have a look at the league, see who's traded what in and out. So it looks like some waivers, couple of free agents. Matt's gone Campbell Graham. I don't mind that as a sneaky get. Nothing too major in the waivers there. Paul Alamotti might have been good actually, but I haven't identified a name. I'm not too sure. Let's see if he's available. Actually, I've got to search it here. Oh no, so Liam's got on to Farlongo. I haven't seen him pop up anywhere, but must have been an early adopter. Let's go centre wing, fullback maybe. Try to find some value based on average. Not really. Ben Travojevic is available, back playing second row. Maybe we just grab him and see how it goes. Should have probably looked at fullback before I committed to that, but that's okay. Can have a sneaky look real quick. Filters. Let's go fullback, and we'll go free agents. Yeah, so that's about what I was expecting. K Weeks is free. Oh, do we maybe get on that a week early? Potentially. After that, I don't think there's anything going on. Um, any halfbacks? We've already got Burton and Cleary, so we don't need to be too greedy. Do we maybe stash Trindle for when he comes back inevitably? What about the young fella? Oh, I think he's only 5'8", isn't he? The young South's halfback. Hang on, did I miss anyone else there? No, I thought I did, but I did not. Yeah, so Rogers is also listed at 5'8" only, but Telpa, maybe can have a free look, I suppose, and then maybe get amongst it in the the waivers next week. But I guess probably just ranting and rambling at this point, so we'll wrap it up there. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below the video. Give us a like if you enjoy the SuperCoach content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.